Why y'all be doing that? Why y'all superstars be doing that? Because y'all not smart about it?
No, I don't drink alcohol.
Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. Somebody
That
else
small
said.
exchange may have been worth more than the drink on the table. Caitlin Clark quickly noticed the opportunity, and what happened next turned a simple moment at a press conference into something much bigger.
Olipop, man, ended up actually tweeting this. Ty, girl, let's chat. All right. And this is all that happened. They came to the podium after the game, right?
Watch how normal this moment starts. There is no planned advertisement, no big announcement, and no staged commercial. Ty Harris is simply sitting there with an Olipop. Caitlin notices it, and suddenly the conversation changes from what Ty is drinking to whether a company should be getting that kind of free promotion. That matters because athletes live in a world where attention has real value. Every photo, press conference, viral video, and TV appearance can put a product in front of thousands or even millions of people. Caitlin clearly understands that because she already works in that world. So when she jokes that Ty should get someone to sign her, the interesting part is not just the joke. The interesting part is that the brand apparently noticed what happened. Keep that in mind, because later there is a much bigger discussion about what the WNBA should be talking about, what the media chooses to focus on, and why so many conversations around the league move away from basketball. The difference between these two stories tells you a lot.
Caitlin gave him the, hey, she's free. She's free on the market. Somebody sign her. And now all of a sudden, Olipop reaching out big time. I mean, long stretching. Mr. Fantastic reaching out. Get that paper, man. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out Ty. Shout out Caitlin Clark.
There is the payoff from that first moment. According to the source, Olipop responded publicly, saying, "TY girl, let's chat." That does not mean a sponsorship deal exists, and it would be wrong to act like a social media post automatically becomes a signed contract. But it does show that the moment got enough attention for the company to respond publicly. That is the kind of opportunity teammates can actually benefit from. Caitlin did not have to negotiate a deal or promise Ty a contract. She simply noticed that Ty was in a high-visibility moment next to one of the most talked-about athletes in the sport after a strong performance, and she pointed out the value of that attention. The source says Ty had gone 5 for 5 from 3 that night. That is exactly when a player should want the conversation to go beyond just one good game. A great performance creates the spotlight, but the next question is whether that spotlight can turn into something lasting, like marketing opportunities, shoe deals, appearances, or partnerships. That is one reason Caitlin Clark's impact cannot be measured only by the box score. Assists are easy to count on the court. There is no official statistic for helping create a business opportunity for the teammate sitting next to you.
We do have to slide over here to Nate Tibbetts, man, crying about fans, and I'm like, yo, I'm honestly tired of talking about this. I'm honestly tired of talking about this, man. I mean, everybody in the WNBA act like they're the only ones dealing with fans saying crazy things to them. I don't get it. Saying outlandish things to them. Dog, it's fandom. That's what happens, all right? Now, I want y'all to hear what he's saying, and we're just going to break it down, I guess.
Yeah, to be honest, thank you for asking. It really pisses me off.
Yeah.
It's disappointing. This is a great league. We've got great players. There's great stories, great rookies, great teams. What Vegas has done the last 4 years, and you just spend.
Now the story takes a sharp turn because Nate Tibbetts is asking a completely different question. Why does a league with great players, exciting rookies, strong teams, and competitive games spend so much time talking about everything except basketball? That frustration is understandable. Coaches want basketball to be the main focus. Players want their performances to matter. And a league trying to grow does not want every major conversation to turn into another debate about referees, fan behavior, social media, race, personalities, or media coverage. But there is another side to Tibbetts' argument, and this is where things get uncomfortable. You cannot simply tell people to focus on basketball when the people inside the sport have already helped create conversations that go far beyond the game. When players post controversial messages, commentators focus on identity or culture, coaches respond to outside criticism, and fans accuse media outlets of ignoring certain stars, everyone starts reacting to everyone else. At that point, the story is no longer just about basketball. The league becomes part sports league and part non-stop public debate. That does not mean every accusation from fans is true, and it does not mean every criticism of a coach or player is fair. It simply means the entire environment rewards conflict. And once that cycle starts, nobody can decide on their own when everyone should stop talking about it.
I don't know why that happens in our league.
I'm going to tell you why that happens in your league, Nate. I mean, you have players jumping on Twitter screaming white privilege. You have people that work for ESPN being disingenuous with performances, who should be in the MVP race. And that's why I stopped even worrying about the MVP, man, because they will never give it to Caitlin Clark. They will never put her in that conversation. I mean, she was in it, she was in 4th place her first year, and they just act like she don't even rank up there this year. Mind you, she's number 3 in scoring and number 1 in assists per game. But for some reason, that doesn't equal.
The source's response is much more aggressive. It argues that some WNBA figures and media personalities have helped create the same environment that Tibbetts dislikes. It specifically points to debates about race, promotion, and the MVP discussion around Caitlin Clark. Some of these issues need to be looked at separately. Whether Caitlin deserves MVP consideration is a basketball debate. You can look at her scoring, assists, efficiency, team record, availability, overall impact, and what valuable should mean. That is normal sports discussion. But saying voters will never give her the award goes beyond the evidence. Nobody can know how future voters will decide. The stronger argument is that Caitlin's performance and influence will be judged based on whatever criteria voters value, and fans will closely watch those decisions because she receives so much attention. This is where a normal disagreement can turn into a trust problem. If fans believe the biggest star in the sport is being treated differently, every graphic can look like evidence. Every omission can feel intentional. Every ranking can seem political. And once fans believe the institutions covering the league are not being honest with them, even normal media decisions can be seen as having a hidden message. That is not healthy for anyone. But simply dismissing those concerns does not make them disappear.
We're always talking about other things besides basketball. You have your WNBA media always talking about race and things that don't have anything to do with basketball. You literally had Ion put up a graphic with Paige Beckers and Enrique, and then Lexi Hull and Raven, knowing dang well those are not the top players for the Indiana Fever. It's like y'all are scared to promote Caitlin Clark for some reason.
This is the sharper version of that complaint. The host points to a broadcast graphic and argues that Caitlin was noticeably missing while other players were featured. Without knowing the full reason behind that graphic, we cannot say why certain players were chosen or why Caitlin was left out. But the reaction still matters because it shows how sensitive fans have become about promotion. And there is a business reason for that. Sports leagues do not grow just because they have talented players. They grow by turning talent into stars, stars into recognizable stories, and those stories into regular viewers. That is why the opening moment with Ty Harris matters more than it first seemed. Caitlin Clark understands that attention has real value. The bigger question is whether the league understands it the same way. There is a difference between not wanting one player to become bigger than the sport and refusing to take advantage of a player who is bringing new fans to the sport. Those are two very different things. A smart league can promote Caitlin heavily while also using her popularity to introduce fans to players like Ty Harris, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, Sophie Cunningham, Aya Wilson, Nafisa Collier, Paige Buchers, and everyone else creating great basketball. The spotlight does not have to be a competition where one player gets attention and everyone else loses. The smartest strategy is to use the brightest spotlight as a way to lead people toward the rest of the league.
It's disappointing. I don't know who can help change the narrative. If it's the coaches, if it's the players, if it's the media, there's outside sources that.
Ding, ding, ding. It's the players, it's the media, it's the coaches. It starts with y'all, man. It starts with y'all. Y'all haven't said anything about Seattle. The nonsense that happened to the Indiana Fever fan base in Seattle. People spitting on people. Come on, man. Where is that news?
Tibbetts eventually points to the groups that have the power to change the conversation: coaches, players, media, and outside voices. That may be the most important thing he says because it shows that this is not simply a fan problem. Fans react to what they see and hear. Sometimes they react badly, and sometimes they cross the line. There is never an excuse for harassment, threats, or abusive behavior. But normal sports criticism is different. Saying a coach made a bad decision is not harassment. Questioning a rotation is not harassment. Saying a player should shoot more or defend better is not harassment. Booing a professional team or coach is not automatically abuse either. These differences matter because if every negative reaction is treated the same way, real criticism becomes impossible. The source also mentions a separate Seattle incident and compares how different fan controversies were covered. Some of those claims are made by the host without independent evidence in this transcript, so they should not be treated as proven facts. But his larger argument is clear. He believes the media covers these situations selectively and that Fever fans receive more criticism than others. You do not have to agree with that conclusion to understand why some people believe it. Caitlyn's arrival brought a huge new audience into a league that already had rivalries, personalities, and cultural debates. Those new fans were loud, and existing fans were not always quiet about the attention either. Media outlets then realized that conflict involving Caitlyn created engagement, which led to more coverage, which created more conflict. Over time, that cycle can keep feeding itself.
We're trying to create division. Yeah. And at times, it's not a lot of fun. It's not a lot of fun for the players. It's not a lot of fun for the coaches or organization. Because we are doing great things. We should be doing this. And it feels like there's things that we have to deal with. Certain coaches in our league have to deal with on a night-to-night level that, to be honest, bullshit. Yeah. And I feel sorry for some of those coaches. I love our media. We make it about basketball. But some of the things that...
Now listen to what Tibbetts says about the human cost. He argues that this environment is not enjoyable for players, coaches, or organizations, even while the league is making positive progress that should not be ignored. Professional sports are entertainment for fans, but the people working inside them still deal with the pressure personally. A coach can make millions and compete at the highest level while still being hurt by constant attacks. A player can understand that criticism is part of the job and still become tired of non-stop controversy. Both things can be true. The disagreement starts when Tibbetts suggests that the pressure WNBA coaches face is almost completely different from what coaches deal with in other professional sports. That is a difficult argument to support. NFL coaches get booed. NBA coaches are often criticized and told to lose their jobs after bad stretches. Premier League managers can face non-stop media pressure and angry fans. College coaches also deal with huge fan bases where every decision can become a major issue. None of that makes abusive behavior acceptable, but it shows that intense public criticism is not unique to the WNBA. The better question is not whether criticism should exist. The real question is when normal sports criticism crosses the line into unacceptable behavior. That is the line that actually matters. And that ending brings both sides of the story together. The host starts by talking about Caitlin Clark possibly helping Ty Harris get a brand's attention and ends by talking about a game with real standings pressure. These things may seem unrelated, but they are both results of the same change. More attention creates more opportunities. It can put a teammate in front of a sponsor, turn a normal press conference into a viral moment, make a regular season game feel more important, and increase salaries and commercial value as the audience grows. But more attention also brings more pressure. Coaches face more questions. Players have every comment analyzed. Fans become more divided. Media decisions are examined for hidden motives. Social media arguments can become major stories themselves. You cannot realistically take only the good side of that deal. If the WNBA wants the visibility of a major professional sports league, it also has to handle the pressure that comes with it. That means protecting players and coaches from real abuse without calling normal criticism abuse. It means media outlets paying attention to what fans actually care about without turning every story into Caitlin Clark versus everyone else. And it means fans criticizing basketball decisions without attacking people personally. For Caitlin, the most interesting part may be that she is already showing one possible way forward: use the spotlight, do not apologize for it, and share it. A few seconds beside Ty Harris apparently led to a company publicly asking to talk. Imagine if that kind of impact happened across the entire league. Teammates could get more recognition. Opponents could become bigger stars. Rivalries could develop stronger identities. Role players could become more marketable because millions of new fans finally know who they are. That is how one star can become an accelerator for the entire league instead of a threat to it. And maybe that is the real choice facing the WNBA. Does it spend the next few years arguing about why so much attention follows Caitlin Clark, or does it use that attention to create more opportunities for everyone around her? Which strategy would you choose? Protect the old balance of the league, or use Caitlin's spotlight to make the entire league bigger? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you want more fever and WNBA breakdowns based on what actually happened instead of recycled outrage, like the video and subscribe.